Okay, so for whatever insane reason, I have decided to cook today on stream. So, to be honest, I'm not entirely sure what I should do first. You know what? I think I will cut some onions first to go on the meatballs. I will also be adding more onion to the sauce. That's the word. This is a first time thing. I'm mostly just doing this because I couldn't think of anything else to do today. Yeah. So. Right, onions. I think I'll put 2 of them in the yes, I think I'll put 2 of them in with the mince, specifically. Grab a bit. I'm really dealing with excessive quantities of food waste on the bench. It just gets irritating. Make note, there is no recipe here. This is just me tossing shit together. Also, do let me know if this is what the sounds get like coming through, because I'm using my camera's microphone rather than any of my fancier ones. So this one's actually liable to pick up on all sorts of background noise. Like the dog barking. Well, neighbor's dog barking. Okay, so 1 onion. So this will be my food for the next couple of days for the most part. I tend to cook in very large batches because I am basically broke. So yeah, just and yes, I did do literally 0 preparation for this beyond actually just having the ingredients in the kitchen. Right. To be honest, this is kind of like weird, considering I'm normally a video game streamer. So I don't know. It's just something new to do. Yeah, get that off. Okay. Mostly cut the onions this way, because, well, make some... What's the word I'm looking for? Makes cutting them into small pieces easier. Cut them lengthways without quite cutting the bit of connective material at the end. And then I can just do nice even little cuts. And get lots of neat little pieces, which is quite nice. Of course, sometimes it still gives me issues, because pretty sure my knife's not as sharp as it should be, like, by a lot. To be honest, they're not great knives. They're just kind of what I have, so, you know. Needs busting all that. Now, normally I use like either red onion or brown onion, but pink onions happened to be cheaper when I was shopping last time, so that's what I've got for today. Let's see. Yeah, most of this is just based off of like half-remembered things I learned while cooking with Dad. So, for now I'm going to stick this in the fridge just for a second. And I'm going to spices. Here we go. Put together some spice mix that I'm going to toss in with meat. To be honest, I probably could have waited on cutting up the onions. Also don't need this right now. Yeah. So. Right, move this here, move this across. So, got my nice mortar and pestle over here. I am going to be putting a few different things in with the meat. There we go. Mostly just using the mortar and pestle because this is a cheap plastic grinder and it takes forever to separate out things, like crush things up normally. So, toss a handful of pepper in there, I guess. Do the same. So you should probably crush it up first. Is this kind of old school? Yeah. Do I also like some of the older methods? Also yes. So, it smells quite nice. Now let's see, what else should I put in this mix? Maybe cayenne pepper. That sounds good to me. What else? You know what? I think I'll put in some of my mushroom powder. So, made that a while ago. It's actually kind of an effort to not just eat this straight up. It's very good. To be honest, I probably don't need to add this, considering I'm going to be making a mushroom tomato sauce thing for this. But yeah, I'm gonna do it anyway. It's kind of a coarse powder, so I am going to grind it a little bit more. Just to get a nicer consistency when I actually put it in the meat. Nice and peppery. And then add in some salt. Yeah, that'll do. If I need more, I'll add more later. To be honest, I should probably have tied my hair back. But you know what, I'm not gonna. Since this is only going to be, well, my food. My brother has his own food, and yeah, we both have vastly different tastes in what we like to eat. To be honest, I probably should have added the salt earlier, but you know. So, what else should I put in this mix? I'm definitely going to put in some cayenne pepper, because I like my things spicy. Make myself some spicy meatballs. Anyway, how much should I put in? Fair amount. Let's just remove the cap entirely. Make some nice bitey spicy meatballs. Put in some paprika. A little bit of turmeric. Yes, I am entirely just tossing shit in together, because I happen to just like doing that. This is now smelling quite strong. Actually, that smells really good. What else should I put in here? Little bit of cardamom. There. No, that was cumin, not cardamom. Entirely different things. Don't really need the cardamom. Tiny bit of nutmeg. Yes, I am just throwing spices into this, but, you know, I happen to like my foods highly spiced. There, so, I can put this back for now. Yeah, I will show you this. But yeah. So, got some nice spice mix in here. Right. But yeah, making sure that you can actually see it, because I am awful with camera angles. Okay. Yeah, so I've got some nice spice mix in there. Set this aside. And that is making my sinuses wrong. this back out. And 2 kilos of mince. And I'm just gonna quickly deal with my sinuses. Okay, so wash my hands because I am going to be dealing with raw meat, and I do not want myself getting sick. Okay, so okay, that's annoying. It appears this actually hasn't fully defrosted. So, well, not too surprising. Okay, cool. So, toss all of the mince in here, and then I will toss all of this in there. So put this over here for now. Spoon. Yes. To be honest, I'm very glad that I've been getting back into shape lately, because this is actually quite heavy. Okay. Leave that there for the moment. And I'm going to start mixing this. Yeah, I can definitely feel that this isn't fully defrosted, because it's kind of making my fingers sting. Because I really don't cope with the cold very well. Unfortunately. You know, I may have actually added a bit too much onion. It doesn't really matter though. It just means that the meatballs might be a bit more fragile than expected. Granted, again, this is literally just me throwing shit together. Okay, so what to add after this? I'm pretty sure that's nice and mixed. Yes. honest, I probably should have added the other ingredients when I first started mixing, but, you know, whatever. That's just, me being scatterbrained. Let's see. Corn. Oops, shit. Apparently that was not sealed properly. Okay then. I will be right back with a vacuum. Let me just switch that over to be right back. Okay, vacuuming's done. Alright, reminder, I should not be trusted. Do not, screw that kind of stuff up. Anyway, what was it? My brain is being right. So, toss some of this in. Okay, so a lot less than about a couple of spoonfuls. Again, I am entirely just the type to toss things into a pot and yeah, okay. Eggs. So I have about 2 kilos of meat, so plus extra I'm going to add 2 eggs. And I heard that crack. These are apparently quite fragile eggs. Okay. So, a couple of eggs. Going to need to clean that bench. So, a couple of eggs tossed in here. That should be good. Okay. Yeah. Mix this again. Good, this is starting to cling a lot more. It's nice and sticky. There. Yes. You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to turn the oven. It might actually need more flour, considering this is a lot of material. Okay, yes, onion. Oven. Brain. Yeah, may need more to make it cling together properly. Just a little bit. Should I? Or... whatever. So. Oven is on extra high because... what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, I forgot to note that on earlier. What next? My brain always does this. Yeah, okay, so from here I'm just going to start portioning this out into meatballs in the tray, so... Probably should have oiled it first, but you know. So, lump of meat, toss it in the pan. Should get... You know, I might actually have to do this in 2 batches, because I'm not entirely sure. And the neighbour's dog's barking again. Because I'm not entirely sure I actually have a big enough pan to do this all in one go. That's mostly just down to... yeah, not being... yeah, not having much money, so we don't have many... like, we have a few pans and things, but not many that go in the front. But yeah, I'm just making palm-sized meatballs, which I will then drizzle with a bit of oil. That one's a bit big. Probably still a little big, but meh. This is not me being exact. Again, this is just something thrown together based on a whim. As pretty much all of my cooking, to be honest, is just thrown together on a whim. Yeah, I definitely added too much onion to this. They're probably going to fall apart. And to be honest, I actually don't care if they fall apart. Yeah, I definitely don't have enough space in... So I might actually wind up doing this in 2 batches. So that's going to be interesting, I guess. Cool. So yeah, this is going to be done in 2 batches. Yeah. I'll toss it in the oven, and then then I'm going to start work on the mushroom sauce. So, let's see. There we go. Personally, I prefer to use olive oil over other oils. That's honestly just my personal preference, though. So, this will go back into the fridge. I'll just set this aside for a second. And just realizing, how am I going to go about recording, actually doing the... How to go about recording the cooking of the mushroom sauce. Considering the... You know what, I think I figured it out. There. Okay. Okay, so over here, not using that pan. This pan though. Large pan. To be honest, it's still kind of a ways away. I suppose I could just pull the power and move the computer across. It's fine for now. Okay, so temperature. And of course, it's not hot enough. May as well pull out the stuff I'm going to be using for the mushroom sauce. I will most likely use at least one more onion, because I just like onion. Well, yeah, good old onion. And I have 5 garlic cloves, use those as well. Hang on a sec. Alright, so that was just my brother going back and getting back home, and he does not want to be on stream, so yeah. Also, he apparently got chips, so That should actually be hot enough now. 180 degrees. Cool. I will leave that there. I actually do have more stuff to do over here. Specifically, cutting up the onions and crushing the garlic. So, a couple of garlic cloves. Pull out, spin again, and get to peeling. Yeah, Angus pretty regularly get shit. My sibling, who will pretty regularly get excess chips, so, you know. He can't eat them all, so I wind up getting them, so that's nice. But yeah, the sauce will contain the mushrooms, that they will be added after I've already started frying up the onion and garlic. I've always honestly hated peeling garlic because, like, I don't know, it just clings. On the other hand, I really like the taste of garlic, so... you know, I'll put up with it. To be honest, I probably should have done this before booting up the stream, but also... I have precisely, like, almost no, like, future planning capacity. It's like... I kind of just do things. Like, I can plan ahead, sort of, but... stresses me out to do it too much. Yeah, part of why I'm doing this particular stream is just for some, like, extra variety, other than just, doing my Steel Soul run on Hollow Knight. And... okay, so that's the garlic done. Pop all those ends off. Crush them. And slice them. When I was younger, I used to obsessively slice and cut these in, like, into little chunks by hand. Like, I would slice it into layers, and then I would then cut those into tiny little perfect cubelets, even though, like, it would just break down in whatever I'm cooking. So you'd never see them anyway, and it was, like, entirely pointless, and it would add, like, an extra 20 minutes to the effort of cooking anything. It's like, why did I do that? I don't know. Probably because I'm very OCD. Should probably wash my fingers, because Garlic is sticky. Very sticky, actually. Yeah. And how long has my meatballs been in the oven? Not that long. It's fine. But you'll notice that I put a lot of onion and mushrooms into things. I honestly kind of obsessively put mushrooms in things. And onions. I just like the flavor that both give, so. You know what I should do is put a bit of oil in the pan. Won't turn it on yet because it does heat up very fast. Okay. Yeah, because for whatever reason, my stove is kind of weird in some ways. Good old electric stove, heats up quite quickly, takes a while to cool down. Bit of a pain to deal with at times. And to be honest, I actually wish we had a gas stove because I do live in North Queensland and power outages are quite common up here. We do regularly get massive storms. So, you know. But yeah, because so long as you have a way to light them, you can actually quite easily use a gas stove even when it's storming. So, you know. Okay, so the stove is on. Let's put that over here now. Spoon. You know what? I am going to move things over here. Okay. So. Right. Cool. So, this pan, nice and hot. So, got that going. Will take a little bit to actually decently warm up. So, back over here we go for now. So, what was I going to do next? Capsicum. Actually, a lot of veggies. Let's see. Right. My little mincer I have here, because if I'm being honest, I think this would go better if it's mushed up. And I also need to remember to make sure that the thing doesn't burn. So. So I've turned that down. And we'll take one of these, and I will toss it in my little food processor there. Put the rest away. I'll also take a carrot and toss that in food processor as well. Because, honestly, I just like carrot. And zucchini. To be honest, I'll only be able to do them one at a time, because it is a piddly little food processor, and I don't have the space. Rough chunks. I am also going to turn the sound off because it is very loud, and I don't think anybody particularly wants to deal with any of this bullshit. Yes, it's very loud. Just turn off the... Turn it back on. Gonna add a little bit of apple cider vinegar. Help the stuff blend up a bit. And turn that back on again. Okay, so that can be back on for now. Things to add back into this. So, what I'm going to add into the mix now mushrooms. Quite a lot of them. This is specifically about half a kilo. Buy them pre-sliced because they are cheaper, much cheaper to buy them in a pack like this. Also, it's way easier. So that actually, you know, cooks down without burning or anything, I'm going to add some tomato passata. I am also going to add coconut cream, because I quite like it. Right, forgot it does that. To be honest, I probably should have shaken this up. But you know, not what one would call the most amazing chef ever. Next thing on the list. Grab this little bowl. So, separate out you know what else I should do? I should add some salt to the mushroom mix over there. And a little bit of pepper. Let's see. These ones are kind of horrible. Fortunately, they do have a lid that makes it so you can collect some, but it's like slow. Very slow. Okay. Okay, so, should also do this. Right, wash that. And put it back on. Really? There. Okay. And it's still not on, apparently. Give me a minute. Okay, so I do need to turn off the mic again, because that would be awful. Okay, veggies are blended up again. So, next thing on the list. To be honest, I shouldn't put it up like that. I need to, you know, actually show what I'm doing. 3 green capsicums. Again, there is no recipe here. This is just me being intensely I don't know. My brain goes weird places. And I can't keep up with the sentences I say half the time. I think the most time-consuming thing I've ever cooked was... what's the word I'm looking for? The most time-consuming thing I've ever cooked was, I'm pretty sure, a batch of borscht. That was it, that's the word. Specifically beetroot borscht. There are other types. And apparently while I was cutting that lot of capsicum, I somehow managed to miss an entire segment. Back to stirring this thing. Okay, so another capsicum. Let's see, what else will I be adding into the mix? There are actually a bunch of fresh tomatoes in the fridge that I should probably use for this as well. Shit! And I just tossed a bunch of it into the bin. Okay, I need to not get lost in my thoughts again. Apparently I tossed about a... Right, I just tossed a quarter of a capsicum into the bin because, I'm apparently not paying attention. Right. Note to self, don't do that. Let's see. I can hear the pan over there simmering nicely. I should also probably actually check on the meatballs while they're in the oven. It has been about 15 minutes. Funnily funnily enough, streaming is actually helping me keep track of time, because there's a timer counter in the corner of there. Which is kind of funny, since I'm usually awful at keeping track of time. Anyway, that's all 3 capsicums. Tomatoes. So. Fortunately for me, it is not super expensive to get decent fresh fruit up here, where I am. Otherwise, my broke ass would be in deep shit. I should probably actually move this bowl over here, because tomatoes do make a fair amount of mess, and I'd like to be able to just scrape it in directly without having to move around too much. And also move the bin out of the way, so I don't accidentally dump another batch of vegetables into the, well, fruit technically in this case, into the bin. So. You know what I forgot to actually add into the mix so far? I've forgotten to add herbs, which I should do in a second, once I finish cutting out the tomatoes anyway. Right. Let's see, what herbs should I actually put in there? I do actually have some semi-fresh thyme in the fridge that I should probably get around to finishing using. I say semi-fresh because it's been in there for like a week. Actually, a bit longer than that. Closer to 3 weeks, actually. That was what I used. What did I use by even buy it for originally? Yeah, that's right. My attempt at making jambalaya. It wound up actually coming out more of a Cajun-themed risotto than like a true jambalaya, but it still tasted pretty damn good. But yeah, I slightly miscalculated the amount of liquid I should put in there. But considering I was only half following the recipe and was massively upscaling it, because, again, cooking lots of stuff is much cheaper for me. But yeah, it didn't come out half bad. Okay. So, the carrot that I blended earlier and couldn't be bothered to move, that will be added now. I do have a habit of putting a lot of stuff into like sauces and soups and stews and stuff. It's honestly a habit developed because want to have as much, what's the word I'm looking for? Nutrients in whatever I'm eating as possible. So, you know. Oh yeah, that was something I was going to add. Ginger. Got a bit of time, so I'll go put that in the makes this quick, nice and quick. Okay, so other things I should also put in there. Mixed herbs. To be honest, I think this actually already has thyme in there, but the other stuff's a little bit fresher. So just a touch more aromatic. So, I should grab my little this ginger's kind of old, so it does need using. To be honest, I might actually have an easier time peeling it with a knife than with an actual peeler. Because, as I said, it is kind of old and rubbery, which does make that just a bit of a pain to do. Ginger. Lovely stuff, but bit of a pain to work with at times. Yeah, definitely better to just use the knife instead of the peeler. What else? I know there was something else I was thinking of adding to things, but I can't remember off the top of my head right now. Well, whatever, it'll come up once my scatterbrain decides to be helpful once more. So, honestly, if I had a bigger chunk of ginger, I would have tossed it in the little food processor I have there. But I don't, so I'll just kind of dice it up. Should definitely have my hair tied back, but yeah, I can't bother to go do that, and so hair stays up, I guess. do. Oh yeah, that was it. I was going to add olives as well into the mix. Because I do like my olives. Apparently I wasn't paying enough attention. And cut into my fingernail. Okay, so that's... Okay, that was, that could have been bad. That could have been actually very bad. Okay, oh, hey, Hallucinogender. How are you? Please do not slice your fingertip up, that's generally considered bad for your health, yes. But yeah, I'm glad you're chill. I'm mostly alright. Mildly startled from the, near incident with the knife. Right. Bring the computer over. So, currently, but yeah, I'm glad you're doing well. But yes, I'm currently cooking something. The exact specifics of it pretty well elude me. Olives. About half the jar, I think, would do. Yeah, okay, that's good. Meatball and mushroom sauce is a fairly broad category, yes, yes it is. There is like about half a kilo of mushrooms in there. One guy from Star Wars voice. Unlimited olives! Yes. This is some... also mushroom sauce, like, specifically mushroom sauce. Shooting olives from your fingertips. Yeah, I made this a while back, so... technically it's supposed to go on other stuff, but meh. I'm currently using, beef mince, and as for the specific type of mushrooms, brain. Hang on. The packaging just says white mushrooms. It doesn't say anything at all about what kind of white mushrooms. But they do come in a large amount, so eh. Actually, I should do one thing. Pull out the meatballs and check. Ooh. These are looking very nice, actually. And there's quite a bit more oil in there than I expected. Oh yeah. I still have about half the mince in the... Actually, they have been in there for about half an hour, so I might just put them aside for now to cool down. So that I can set the others out and put the other half of the mince in. Just refer to as white mushrooms, extremely rounded, spherish caps, completely white except when you slice them you can see brown spores. Yeah. Vegetables. Probably more than this pan can handle, but I don't care. Definitely more than this pan can handle. Yeah, that's almost certainly a common cultivated mushroom. Yeah, that's, yeah. Common mushroom is... yeah. Okay. Right, so this is apparently now going in the big pot. Like my big pot. You know what, I should actually move this out of the way. Yes. I have absolutely been compelled to bring out the vat because... yeah. I should probably add more moisture to this because it's kind of like not very saucy. Maybe I should, although I could just blitz it up later. I mean, I do have... but yeah. This big old pot here, a nice 13-litre pot, is what I usually use to cook my dinner. Well, food, anyway. Mostly because I'm cooking enough for a week and a half. Last thing I needed to pot big for was a massive portion of goulash. Took several days to reduce down enough to be ready and was absolutely delightful. Been meaning to cook it again for a while. Yeah, fair enough. I usually cook in a pot this big about at least twice every month on average. Other thing I use it for is making caramel for millionaire shortbread, but I've not done that in ages. Cool, cool. Probably put the camera up more actually. Now my brain is trying and failing to figure out what I need to do next. I'm gonna put the lid on this. I'm going to remove the camera again. Because why not? Should probably clean up my workspace properly. That that would require, you know, effort. But yeah, the usual thing that I cook in that big pot is what's the word I'm looking for? A mushroomy, mincy thing. It's got a bunch of it has a bunch of yeah, it has a bunch of veggies and mince and beans in it. I don't know. You could call it like chili mince or whatever. I do put a fair amount of chili in it. Tongs. These actually came out surprisingly solid. One thing I've been wanting to cook that I found out the other day about is egg drop soup. I'm desperate to make it once spring onions are back in season because I can eat copious amounts of spring onions whenever they're available. Oh yeah. I think spring onions are actually in season pretty much all year round here, so I'm happy about that. Actually, I think onions in general. Go. Scoop out all the solid bits. To be honest, I don't really need to, but meh. I also don't need to add more oil, which is nice. The bowl. Okay, big old bowl. I actually originally got this bowl for brining tongue, actually. Because I very much like brined tongue. It tastes very nice. Needing to add more oil. 1 15-step refining process later. Oh yeah, so much oil. Tongue's actually really nice. You do have to, you do have to cook it properly because it's one of those mussels that's really full of. It's got a lot of intramuscular fat, so if you cook it wrong, the fat drains right out of it and it turns into leather. Which nobody wants. Liver. I have had liver. It's been quite some time though. So I honestly can't remember what it tastes like. Like a long time. What other things have I had but haven't had in a long time? People always say every meat tastes like chicken, so presumably it tastes like chicken. I mean, if it's a chicken liver, it'll taste like chicken. Funnily enough, I think the main thing see people comparing chicken to is reptile meat. Yes. That one actually makes sense, unlike a lot of the things that it's like, oh, it tastes like chicken. This tastes nothing like chicken. I don't know. But also it doesn't make sense because birds have absolutely bizarre physiology for reptiles. I mean, yeah, kind of. Cool. That out of the way. Wash my hands. Yeah, they do kind of have bizarre physiology, yeah. Okay, that's still hot. Put it right back in the oven. Yeah, but also does, yeah, I'm repeating these things. I should probably start cleaning up. Because otherwise cleanup later is going to be absolutely awful. Leave those there, leave that there. That's a thing. Right. Coffee machine. Things out of the way. Yeah. Give a quick rinse to my because that one will be the quickest to get out of the way. To be honest, I've got about half an hour to wait before the meatballs are done. At least the second batch, anyway. To be completely honest, I probably have done some washing up yesterday, but you know, didn't think about it. It is kind of a funny piece of equipment in the context of modern kitchen. They are useful though, so you know. To be honest, I should probably change the angle on the camera as well. Yeah. Yes, here's my, here's my numerous utensils made from specialized alloys. And here's my rock for crushing stuff. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It is kind of weird. But I am to put it simply, I am a cultured broke young adult. Oh yes, the box that wards off decay. But yes. Oh, I forgot about the... Right, I'm rereading shit again. Okay. Calling an oven a milk reactor is so fucking to me. Fair enough. I mean... Isn't it technically? That's the whole, like, point of half the shit I say, is just finding the weirdest way I can to say something. To be honest, the mechanism behind a fridge is incredibly simple. Finding the weirdest possible way to say something is the basis of so many good jokes, yes. My burnt bean juice machine comes to mind. Like to have it with some caprine mammary secretion. All of the weird ways to say things is... yeah. Yes. What other weird shit? Alright. Utensils and... To be honest, I should probably stir my sauce again, so it doesn't burn. Smells pretty good so far. Lid on. What else? Take these. Yeah, just cleaning up for midway through, because honestly that pot over there is very large and very much complete pain to deal with. It takes up the entire sink. You've not actually watched it before and it's making you hungry. Fair enough. Fair enough. That makes sense. That's honestly the thing I had, like, when watching cooking shows, is that it would consistently just make me hungry. And yeah, it's like, damn, now I want to go do that. And yet I still keep watching the cooking shows. I mean, this is functionally just an interactive cooking show, isn't it? Okay, that's all. Right. No, that's not actually all of the utensils. Yeah. Welcome to my interactive cooking show. Alright. To be honest, the only really way to make it more interactive is to get people to chime in on what they want to add to things, which usually ends poorly. There's no big dramatic competition with steaks in a professional restaurant and/or tent for some reason. Yeah. I don't know. Depends on the cooking show. Some of them have steaks, some of them don't. That's more of a cooking competition show. Which I suppose could be funny if I could manage to rope my brother into things, but he doesn't cook, and he also doesn't want to be on stream, so, you know, fair enough. Although I might be able to rope one of the other younger siblings into things, if I tried hard enough. Doing a poll with options for each spice you have on hand and add them in the proportion that people respond to the poll. Oh god. That one would actually be kind of dangerous, considering I have nutmeg, and nutmeg is kind of psychoactive. I have nutmeg, I have cayenne pepper, I have I have a fair amount of chili flakes. Yeah, oh no. it would end poorly. Actually, the sauce has a little bit of nutmeg in it, so, you know. Oh dear. Rather unpleasantly psychological, yeah. Yeah, it's deadly in a slightly higher dose, and the specific effects are... The main one is like intense paranoia and a pending sense of doom, so yeah, no! Like, idiots, like, some dumbass kid hears that it's, like, got psychoactive properties, they try and get high off of it, and then, you know, regret breathing. Yeah, a little bit is tasty, a bit more sends you to hell before you die, and a bit more than that just makes you die. Yes, that is very accurate. But yes, one of its psychoactive effects is actually quite similar to one of the local jellyfish around here, the irukandji. That's actually why it's so horrible. Not only is it agonizingly painful, it's also makes you feel like you're, like, you know, actively in the middle of something that's definitely 100% going to kill you. Just put the fries in the bag, bro. What? On one hand, I'm curious what it's like. On the other hand, I do not hate myself. Oh, yes. What do you mean about the fries? New chatter, Miss Ham 426. What fries? I don't have any. Well, I mean, I do have some, but they're off to the side there. Yeah, something I'm just gonna eat straight up. They're probably cold now, but eh. Nutmeg is one of those things that, yeah, you really don't want to get the toxic dose for. And granted, I do cook in, like, legitimately enormous quantities, so it probably wouldn't be an actual issue. Yeah, I'm aware it's not good. They're not gonna wash themselves. I don't know. That's why I'm washing them now, so I don't have to deal with it later. And also, this is a stream. Why wouldn't I be yapping? That's half the point of it, is to watch, like, some dumbass young adult make a fool of themselves online. Right, okay, yeah. So, because I do cook in genuinely enormous amounts most of the time, even putting in all of my nutmeg probably wouldn't actually kill me. One moment. As usual, just another fucking telemarketer. Or scammer, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, okay. Yeah, nutmeg is kind of like saliva, and that's one of those things that's weirdly easily available in many places. It's widely known to be potently psychoactive. Oh, salvia, that's the word. My dyslexia playing up. Is available in many places, widely known to be potently psychoactive, is infamously unpleasant. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. I'm gonna toss these into the fridge. No one... I'm glad salvia doesn't do... Saliva doesn't do what salvia does. Yes, so am I. But yeah, yeah. I mean, at least it's not as bad as, the hallucinogenic dose of, deadly nightshade. That'll leave you tripping shit for 3 days. And it's apparently quite possibly the single most awful psychoactive on the planet. Wait. Yeah, apparently I'm pretty sure it's deadly nightshade anyway. Good old belladonna. You know, let me just double check. Let's see. Is... because it could be something else that I'm mixing up for. Yeah, yes it is, hallucinogenic. It's also pretty nasty. Like, 3 days, worst trip of your life kind of nasty. Which is kind of wild. The guy who willingly put himself up for that, it's like, I salute you, but I think you're crazy for it. Yeah. But yeah. Yeah, hallucinations, nightmares, unpleasant physical sensations. I don't know. Not something I would ever want to experience. Then again, I'm not dumb enough to actually eat belladonna. I mean, I'm not sure if, like... it's probably as an alkaloid, I can't remember what they specifically class atropine as, or scopolamine for that matter. To be honest, the fact that I know, like, so much about, like, toxic and hallucinogenic substances is probably kind of concerning. But, yeah. Actually, what time is it? 4:20, okay. Yeah, tropane, yeah. Yes. So that's just extremely funny timing for this kind of conversation. Yes, it kind of is. Yeah, talking about horrendously toxic things while cooking. I mean, I suppose it did come from a conversation about, like, nutmeg, so makes sense, I suppose. Belladonna is apparently close related to Datura. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Especially since belladonna does also produce scopolamine. Which, not very nice chemical. But yeah, I mean, the nightshade family is very, very broad, so it's not too surprising anyway. Like, there's... I think, yeah, 2 different kinds of nightshade plant in that. So, you know, remind the thing that dolphins chewing on pufferfish apparently to get high on tetrodotoxin. Yeah, because for whatever reason, it just doesn't affect them the way it does us. So, you know, I mean, fair enough. There's a fair few things that produce tetrodotoxin in the ocean, so. And considering how nasty it is, developing an immunity to the more lethal effects is, yeah, definitely a good thing. But yeah, just all sorts of just weird and wild things in nature, honestly. Yeah, I don't know. You know, I'm not actually sure why people even bother to eat. Wonder if it would affect us similarly if we were a bit less killed by it. Yes. Maybe? I don't know. Possibly, honestly, considering they are also mammals, so. Yeah, if we didn't have, if we weren't, you know, if it wasn't lethally toxic to us, there's a good chance that, yes, yeah. If it wasn't lethally toxic to us, then yeah, it probably would have similar effects, but, you know, it is lethally toxic, and, you know, it's one of those extra fun poisons where the only thing you can do is keep someone breathing and keep forcing their heart to beat until their own system flushes it out, which is honestly kind of horrifying. And you know, I'm honestly not sure why people actually eat pufferfish. I don't know, the fact that it is treatable makes it a lot less scary. That's the thing. Again, the only treatment is to forcibly keep someone's heart beating and, like, hope that their body flushes it out fast enough. Because there is no antitoxin. And to be honest, I've heard fugu is just like, well, it's nice, it's not amazing, especially for the risk. Yeah. To be honest, honestly, that's probably why people eat it, is for the risk and the spiting nature and saying, screw you, I can do this anyway. Yeah, licensed and they do know what they're doing. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. At least, to be honest, if they are willing to eat their own thing, yeah, fair enough. That's kind of the best proof you can get that, yeah, they actually know what they're doing. Doing it for sushi and unusual foods. Fair enough. I mean, if I get the chance, I may try it in the future. I mean, I am... Yeah, in the area where you... Well... In an area where it's relatively easy to get to a place where you can get it. So, you know... My brain is honestly kind of slowing down right now. To be honest, I should probably have a chair in here. My legs do not like all the standing up. And to be honest, neither does my spine. If I'll ever get an opportunity to, I don't know off the top of my head if it's legal in China, I'm not sure if I'm likely to visit Japan at any point, but it's very much this kind of thing I'd like to absolutely try given the chance. Yeah, fair enough. Like for me it would be relatively easy to visit Japan because I'm like 40 minutes away from Cairns Airport, which regularly sends flights to Japan. So, you know, maybe at some point. It's actually probably the foreign country I'm most likely to visit next to New Zealand. So, you know, we'll see. Because it's relatively close to Australia, and just the general good relationship between Australia and New Zealand. Yeah. I mean, I suppose my Australian accent doesn't actually come through very often. Mostly because I only use it when I'm out bush. It's not really the stereotypical Australian accent isn't really a city thing. I do want to see some of the volcanic stuff there. So that would be nice. Maybe some of the wildlife. Beyond that, no particular ideas, I guess. May actually have to leave this one here. Yeah. To be honest, something I really do need to get around to actually doing is getting a scuba license and just going out to the reef, because it is literally right there. Well, actually, let's see, down that way. It's like an hour away from where I am. Yes, I am very much within close proximity to the Great Barrier Reef. I have been out there before, but only snorkeling. We got really lucky and had a bunch of manta rays swim under us when we were out there, so that was pretty special, actually. Apparently they only come there to that particular area once a year, so yeah, and they're really shy, so we got very, very lucky. Yeah. Fair enough. I'm honestly not sure if I'll actually be able to pass the basic medical exam to be going into scuba diving though, because my biology is kind of eh. yes, I'm absolutely going to try, because, well, it's something I'm interested in, and I do have a wetsuit. Mostly because the swimming is awful for me without it. It is... I really don't tolerate the cold very well. Yeah, should probably put this in the cupboard. What else? I forgot to put the lid on properly. The time... Actually, the next lot of meatballs might actually be ready. Yes, they are. Very nice. Yeah, so they look good. Yeah. Does my region have daylight saving times? No. That is primarily done fair bit further down. About, a couple of 30,000 kilometers down south. Brisbane way. Of course, that does mean my sister does go on daylight saving times a lot. No, I said a couple of thousand kilometers. No, I said a couple of thousand kilometers. I'm pretty sure that's the distance anyway. Let me check. My brain's being weird a lot of the time. Yeah. 1.7 thousand kilometers. Yeah. Yeah, so 1,700 kilometers, not quite 2,000. Yeah. Almost 1.7. So... yeah. It's a long ways. Yeah, 1,700. Yeah. Not good. There. That's actually pretty good. It's really funny. The reason I'm good at estimating this is from playing Kerbal Space with Realism Overhaul Mod and having to cover ground distance in thousands of kilometers with early records. with early rockets in the real world Earth. Yeah, that makes sense. This actually smells really good. I should taste it. Do need to let it boil down a bit. Should leave the lid off. Yeah, just an extremely funny way to get good at estimating large-scale distance on the planet's surface. Yeah, I suppose so. To be honest, it's like, video games do actually have a use, funnily enough, that some people can't see, but you know. Salt, that was the thing. I need some more. Literally hit right to the salt. Yeah, it needs a bit more salt. Gonna add a bit of pepper as well, but should probably use like the mortar and pestle for this, but no, yeah, because it's a cheap plastic grinder. So does it real slow. In the actual sauce, it's just salt and pepper, and a little bit of garlic and ginger. In the actual meatballs, though, it has a fair amount of salt and pepper, some little bit of nutmeg, some paprika, fair amount of cayenne pepper. What else did I shove in there? Bit of turmeric. And oh yeah, mushroom powder. That was the thing I added into it. This stuff. This pepper cracker is made from elaborate engineered polymer that was impossible to manufacture most of human history. Yeah, unfortunately, it's also like a cheap, like, store grinder, so yeah, I do need to use my rock. It is much more effective. Elaborate doesn't necessarily mean better, unfortunately. But yeah, the meatballs have this stuff in there, which is honestly kind of a bit of a pain to make, but tastes really good. Like, I have legitimately just eaten this stuff straight. It's kind of like, in terms of like flavor, it's kind of like a mushroom jerky. So mushroom powder, I take a bunch of mushrooms, crush them up in my big ceramic bowl over there, with some salt, and then I leave it to sit overnight. And then the next day, I stew them up with whatever spices I happen to have on hand, and then I strain out the solid parts strain out the solid parts, which I then toss the solid parts into a dehydrator, and the liquid I turn into mushroom sauce. So I get a sauce and a spice. But yeah, this was about this full when I first made it, and it's about Yeah, there's about a kilo of mushrooms in the initial startup, so kilo of mushrooms reduced down to like that, well, that much in a jar, so. But yeah, I have the dehydrator for a couple of reasons. I'm thinking of making some actual jerky sometime soon. Probably just get a slab of drumstick and then cut that into strips. Yes, mushrooms especially. Mushrooms are little sponges. To be honest, I should give that another taste now that I've given it a bit of time to boil down. Yeah, that's pretty good. Dehydrated fruit noodle. Durian chips. Fairly certain part of the manufacturing process is dehydration. Yes. I haven't dehydrated in this particular dehydrator before. We did at one point have a really big dehydrator. It was back when we lived a couple of towns, about a town over. Yeah, we had a big dehydrator, and we also had a vacuum sealer. So we got a huge amount of tomatoes and just dehydrated them, and it lasted years. We just had these big couple of kilo packets of tomato, and it lasted forever. Yeah, pretty much. They weren't fully dry. That takes a bit more effort, but because they were vacuum sealed, they last forever. As for durian chips, I have been wanting to try durian for a while. I've heard that fresh durian smells utterly foul, but tastes really, really good. Actually, another thing that we did in the old dehydrator was a lot of dehydrated mango, which never lasted long, unlike the dehydrated tomatoes. Even if we got literal buckets and buckets of mango. I mean, yeah, but it's apparently one of those weird things though, where it, even if it does smell weird, for whatever reason, it apparently still tastes really good, which is part of what puts people off of it because of how foul it smells. And so the fact that it doesn't taste foul is confusing. But yeah, anyway, thank you for the chat, Wrecked. Let's see. Yeah, widely variable based on how it's described. Do you know that people who live in regions where it's commonly eaten have no idea what Westerners are talking about when they complain about the smell? The compound that contributes primarily to the smell is a thiol. Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Files are real fun. Yeah. But the fact that it has a strong enough taste that it overpowers the smell of a file is kind of wild. Yeah, used to make enormous amounts of dried mango. Very much did not last long. Like, we literally had a neighbor who had, like, a mango orchard that they weren't doing anything with, and was like, just, yeah, sure, you can take as many mangoes as you want. And we would come back with, like, multiple 20-kilo buckets, go and get more, come back, put it through the dehydrator, or just straight up eat them, and we would run out within a month. Yeah, it is true that people with 10 cats indoors can't smell 10 cats up for a while, but everyone else can. Yeah. Yeah, makes sense. Okay, I think what I'm gonna do now is put the meatballs into the sauce. Provided, of course, my camera cooperates. Okay, cool. Should probably mix it first. Yeah, distinctive smell. Most similar chemical smells that Westerners are accustomed to are associated with decay. Yeah, that is the thing about files. There are some that are naturally occurring, that while a lot of them do occur during decay, a lot of them also don't. So, yeah, it's a weird one. Do-do-do. Should probably grab a fork and put that in. Yeah, being able to tell terms people who work with petrochemicals are more likely to be able to distinguish between different common petrochemical smell versus the average person who most petrochemicals smell similar. Yeah, you can tell the difference. It does take a bit of effort though, because they are quite similar. So, I think I'm going to put the rest of this oil in a container so that I can use it for something else later. Yeah. The main thing is, yes, that it tastes good. I'm going to push those down in there. Also can't smell the durian chips. Yes. Dehydrated would definitely not have that. Besides, like, most of the way we can smell things at all is because of, like, moisture carrying chemicals away from things as it evaporates, so, you know, makes sense that dehydrated things don't tend to have much of a smell. Anyway, got some nice oil for future cooking endeavours. All that. So, you know. Right. Don't need the tongs anymore. Cool. Yeah, there we go. Something kind of funny is that despite being such a significantly researched plant smell, as plant smell research goes, they have no idea how the plant actually produces ethanethyl. Yeah, that honestly just doesn't surprise me. Lots of things do some, like, how do they produce this? We don't know. And like, well, with other things, the chemicals that they produce are really poorly understood. Even if the process that creates them is fairly well understood. It's just like, Gimpy bush. Nasty, nasty, nasty plant. And like, the actual, like, the toxins it produces are not very well understood, and speaking of which, yeah, you really don't want to get stung by a gimpy bush. It sucks. I spent half an hour stripping my skin with tape in order to make it stop. And it still itched for the rest of the day. And stung. And I got lucky. Yeah, there's a reason why it's been nicknamed the suicide plant. It is nasty. And like, I only barely brushed up against it, and it was like just across my knuckles. And like, I still remember it even now, in spite of the fact that I got this when I was like 6 or 7, and I don't remember most of my life. So the fact that I remember it, yeah, that burned into my memory. Yeah, reminded me of this one enormously complex but non-protein biochemical, I forget which one, but something extremely potent toxin. Big long chain of 40-something rings doing an abiotic synthesis stuff is like a holy grail of synthetic biochem. To my knowledge, it's still not being done. Yeah, that makes sense. Biochemical synthesis is abiotic synthesis of chemicals that are normally produced biologically is awful. Yeah, I actually think the dish might be ready. It does need to cool down, so I could probably just toss it in a container and ignore it for the next half an hour. Should probably turn off the air conditioning too. Yeah. It does smell pretty good, yeah. Do I actually have enough space in this plant thing for it? Yes! Barely. Cool, that will be my dinner for the next couple of days. Yes. Nice bit of veggies. I can actually taste the ginger in there, which is nice. Nice, like, slightly salty, slightly sweet, slightly sour. Should probably take a bit off of one of the meatballs, just to try that. Yeah, chunk of meatball. That's cool. Yeah. Meatballs are nice and spicy too. Yeah, that'll be good. Nice and bitey, spicy meatballs. The meatballs actually held up really well. Especially since I definitely put a bit too much onion in them. And the recipe for the meatballs was just like vaguely half remembered from like a couple of years back with cooking with Dad and all that, so I'm happy with it. Yeah. yeah, I've also got a bit of salad in the fridge, so that'll also be going with this. And the spices are slightly making my sinuses wrong. Okay. Okay, I think I will end things here. You know what else I should actually remember to do is to turn off the oven. That could have been problematic. But yeah, it's been good to have you. Should I... Take care, take care. Should probably run a raid, I guess. Let's see. Is anyone I'm following awake? Yes! Also, why is she still awake? It's like... What, 2 in the morning? I don't know. Screw it. Alright, she's not streaming at all the same thing as me, but okay. Something's on here. Alright, as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you all later.